So we got more traffic into our funnel now. So now it's time to get them to complete the trial process. And you developed a test around this as well, so let's look at that.
Yeah, so around 60% of the traffic that comes into the funnel doesn't complete the process. It varies. There are 2 and 3 stages depending on which funnel you're in. What we found through working with our agency was it was actually the first page of that 2-3 step process where we were losing kind of 60-70% of the people, but the completion rate on the second and third and fourth pages was kind of in the high 70s, 80s. So it was really around the first page that we wanted to concentrate a test.
And so this is a visual that kind of depicts what you were just talking about. Let's take a look at the control here. So this was the control, and again, it looks like we created 3 treatments here.
Yeah. So again, this was looking at the research that we'd done in advance, looking at the type of traffic that was coming there. The fact that it was a first-time visitor was very important to us. We looked at, the search terms. There were some very key search terms that were coming up. So research and rankings is a very important part of our business. And that wasn't featuring at all on our landing page. We also wanted to, our product is very visual, data, graphs, so how could we combine that into a test? Treatment 2, we just looked at variations on the UX. Could we pull out certain areas where we wanted the form fields to be completed? We asked for a double completion of an email, which we've talked about getting rid of, but we didn't in this test. And then treatment 3, where we really looked at the kind of the call to action, how we could make a larger call to action, and what the key points that drove people to the sign up.
And again, we're looking at a 36% lift here. Treatment 3 seems to be outperforming the other ones in every test that you're on, huh?
Yeah, and interestingly, treatment 3, like the last test, was thrown in at the last minute. So I think it goes to show the point that we've been discussing here a lot is that a marketer's perception of what should be a winning design is not the user's perception. So in most cases, the marketers had said, no, we don't want to use that test. It doesn't make sense. But actually, when our agency persuaded us to put it in, it's been the outperforming test. I don't think we've ever guessed the winning test in any of our tests. So.
Right. And again, so what I think is so interesting is that you're able to apply those learnings not just on that particular page, but to other pages throughout the funnel.
Yeah, so this is a really fast, quick win for us. We've rolled it out over 11 sites. It will be run over nearly every site by the end of the year.
That's great. But you weren't satisfied with just this one test, so we have another one for phase 2 here in our strategy. Do you want to talk about this test a little bit?
Yeah, so what's interesting is we worked with our agency. We overcame the first page issue where we were losing 60-75%. We fixed that problem, and then they identified that we've got another problem here. Potentially, we think we can take a step out of your process. You've got one step too many. There's no reason for this step. We think we can combine it, but we should run a test around it.
So in this test, what it looks like we did here is we combined 2 steps into one.
Yep.
Just to maybe decrease some of that friction in the funnel. And let's look at some visuals here. And again, the results speak for themselves. This time we only had one variation, but we did see a 26% lift as well.
Yeah. Again, right in line with our kind of top expectations. Mm-hmm. Very interestingly, we have an arrangement with our agency on pay for performance, which works very well for us. So they have a top tier. If they hit that top tier, then we pay them an additional amount of money. I don't think they've missed that top tier once, which is great because you're all working towards the same incentive. And again, another example of something that we've rolled out very quickly across our organization.